Welcome back to the How We Can Heal podcast. Today, our guest is Melanie Salvatore August. Melanie Salvatore August is a classically trained actor, writer, theater producer, and seasoned yoga and meditation teacher. She's the author of Yoga to Support Immunity, Fierce Kindness, and Kitchen Yoga, which we talk about today. She's currently the lead yoga teacher trainer for the Chopra Center 200-hour yoga teacher training, and she hosts classes online and in person through her Mel Well studio. Melanie and I met years ago when I was training to lead yoga teacher trainings at YogaWorks, and I was assigned to assist her and Nikki Estrada, both beautiful, authentic, whip smart, and super funny people. We connected instantly and have kept in touch through the many iterations of life since. She's a breath of fresh air, and she's sharing some of her favorite wellness secrets with us here today. So please join me in welcoming Mel to the show. The more you learn about trauma, the more you see it everywhere. It's a superpower to see it, and it's also necessary to see beyond it. This fall, I'm offering a new class, Freedom from Trauma. In it, I'll describe why it's essential for us to identify trauma and how we can approach healing in a way that we don't end up swimming in it. You'll learn simple, not always easy, perspective and practices to help you move out of the trauma vortex and stand in something stronger and more powerful than the impacts of harm. I'm looking forward to sharing what I know with you in this new way. Visit howwecanheal.com/freedom from trauma to register for the training. Melanie Salvatore August, welcome to the How We Can Heal podcast.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy just to talk with you and to be able to share this with people.
Me too. Thanks for doing all you're doing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I know this about you, so I want to ask, how did your yoga journey start? How did yoga become such a big part of your life?
I laugh because I get this flash of the preteen me.
Yeah.
And the preteen me used to go and sit in Walden Books. I don't know if you
Yeah.
the Walden Books, and they had not a yoga section, but they had an occult section.
Yes.
And it had meditation and transcendental meditation, and it had all the different stuff in it and yoga.
Yeah.
And so I would just, whenever we went to the mall, I would be like, right. And so I picked up a few different books on meditation and on channeling and on, Shakti Gawan, on, creative visualization. And they became so helpful. I was always the extra sensitive being, I was
Yes.
like too sensitive, So I really came into that journey and kind of like, I'm anxious. I'm really drawn to this. I feel this feels real to me in a really potent way. So affirmations, creative visualization, meditation, that was all a part of it. And I was dancing and moving and doing all these things. And then I didn't really get into the asana part of yoga until I was in New York City living. And I was in my early 20s. And then I had Shavasana, like it's the ending pose, right? The corpse pose where you're like, and I had like relief from my own self for like 3 minutes. And I was like, oh my God, what is this?
You're like, sign me up. Where do I get more?
I'd forgotten this. I remembered this is like meditation before, but now I got there like when I couldn't get there. I was so anxious. So anyway, it's been a long journey.
It has. And then you were in New York for years, right?
In New York for years and Los Angeles for years. And I went back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then back to the Bay. Because we started crossing over. I remember seeing your name when I was in the Los Angeles, like YogaWorks world and doing teacher training and all of that. And I don't know if we ever actually met until up here. I think we first met at the YogaWorks in San Francisco up here. Yeah. But what was your experience like in the Southern California yoga world?
Lovely. Like when I was in entertainment world, right?
Yeah.
So in the theater and film I always felt like a fish out of water. Right? Yeah. Even though it was like fun but it wasn't felt right. But when I got really into the yoga world, I thought, I belong here. And it was the first time that I felt like maybe something wanted me as much or more than I wanted it. And I was surprised. So when I taught in LA, I was amazed at that friends were like, oh, you're bringing something we love. And I was like, wow, I have something to offer.
Yeah.
So Southern California was great for me, and an awakening for me that like I could let go of an idea of who I thought I needed to be, and I could be myself, whatever that meant, and be helpful and have success, whatever success is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many yoga lifetimes do you feel like you've lived at this point in life?
So many, so many, right? Just how many lifetimes, right?
Yeah.
How and each lifetime, like in each era of like, and then the big ones, like before I met my partner,
Hmm.
that was a big shift, and then before kids, and then after kids. I mean, that's like, and that absolutely changed my yoga, my practice, yeah, everything.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. How did specifically that transition from before kids to after kids? How did your relationship with yoga change?
Well, some of the what seemed esoteric practices that, like my favorite teachers and would say to me, like, your time of practice is 4:30 in the morning. And I remember being like, oh, like, I don't think so. Or whatever it was. It suddenly I understood that there was a potency to these practices and rituals that would help ground me. And I realized, you know, I could do hard things, meaning after I gave birth to another human and was part of that process, then I was like, oh, after I've, been up for weeks on end and haven't slept,
Yeah.
like it's like, I can do hard things. I actually, and it's not so hard because it gives me that nourishment that I need. It quiets my mind. It helps me be kinder.
Mm,
Instead of being all over the place, I have a more centered base to start. So a lot of the practices became much more practical. Like,
yeah.
oh, that's why you do it like this. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you wrote a book called Kitchen Table Yoga. Can
Yeah.
you talk
Kitchen
more?
yoga. Yeah.
Kitchen yoga.
Yeah. 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 And, oh, you as an author, a mom, you handle so much, Lisa. So I had one kid in kindergarten.
Hmm.
So, half days pick up, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then I had one little one, and it was a toddler preschool. So I
Oh,
put him under, watch Sesame Street. And then I had a newborn, just birthed him. But I had very, graciously had gotten an offer, like, would you like to write this book? And I was like, sure. So I pulled it out. It was like, kitchen yoga.
yay, kitchen
If I
yoga.
wrote this, right? Like, how am I surviving? How am I living my yoga?
Yeah.
And literally, Roman, my third, he was brand new, and he
Yeah.
would be in my lap, and I'd be like this, right? And
Typing with one hand with the
yeah,
other one.
and I'd be like, let's do another Sesame Street. Like Sesame Street saved my life.
Yeah.
Um, so it was maybe it's not the most well-developed book, like I read it now and I think, oh, there's so much more I could add. And it's really that, like, okay, what are the bare bones? Like,
Yeah.
how do you either do a dinacharya, a morning routine, get your mind on board, get your heart on board, keep your lymphatic system moving while you're so busy, and then
Yeah.
also, go into more traditional asana, of course, too.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's Roman's book. That's my little one.
Yeah. Well, that's also like the three on top of each other book, right? Like it's the third child's book, but it's also the three children's book.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
That's a
and
lot.
it is really like, okay, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If I don't get it all in, that whole book is not what I'm going to do in all one day. But if I can get a little bit of that in each day, I'm a nicer person, a kinder person, a more conscious person.
When you were in that space, what do you remember now that was serving you the most in terms of your kitchen yoga, your moments of relief? And that can be different for different people. And there might be, some things in the book that you practice at different seasons
Yeah,
too. But
yeah.
what in that early stage while you're writing a book, you got a newborn in your lap, you got a toddler watching Sesame Street, and you got a little bit older kid in school, what were some of the moments or rituals or yoga practices that fed you?
That's such a great question. First, I will say that they're micro habits within opportunities that don't seem like traditional yoga opportunities.
Yes.
So that's where I was like in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
I just put on the water for the oatmeal, right? And I'm going to stretch against the counter, right? I have the bouncy here, I bounce and then I stretch, right? And I do a couple things and I made things as easy as possible.
Yeah.
A lot of people have like junk drawers, like a kitchen junk drawer. I
Mhm.
switched out my kitchen junk drawer for, my toothbrush, my cream for my face,
Yes.
my dry brush, right? Like everything that I would need, to my massaging stone, like it's because I knew my lymphatic system was sluggish because I wasn't sleeping, So a lot of that, friends might not be like, oh, is that yoga? It is, right? So
Yeah.
those different habits, whether it's moving lymph in the body or scraping the skin or whatever. So I would make things as easy as possible for me and put them where I was, which is the kitchen. I'm
Yeah.
I'm in the kitchen all the time. I'm on the floor of the living room with all the toys. So then I would stick whatever it was that maybe would help me, a block or whatever. It became a part of my house. So there was as few excuses as possible.
Yeah. And more opportunities everywhere because then you're in the kitchen. And I just relate to this so much of like trying to find a time to actually brush your teeth before going to bed or after waking up. If your toothbrush is there in the kitchen, then if you walk into the kitchen and start feeding everybody, you can also brush your teeth immediately. You don't have to wait until
Yeah.
however much longer later where you're like, wait, did I shower? Did I brush my teeth? I don't have my contacts out. Like the amount of times where I'm like, especially early on with her, I'd be like, what time is it? It's 11 a.m. or it's 2 p.m. And I still didn't put my contacts on, like, or my glasses for that matter. I've just been living in a haze.
Yes, 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 yes. And with that, this might be so obvious, but like to put things in visual eye line,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like hydration has always been a big deal for me. So I always have my water bottle. It's glass. I can see how much water is in it. And
Yeah.
I keep it constantly filled up where I could see it, right?
Yeah.
Especially when I was nursing, how important to be hydrated,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Same with my toothbrush. I mean, I try to put it so it's not obnoxious or like your toothbrush is in the kitchen. How gross is that? But, like scrape my tongue and chew, I have it all there. Um, yeah, to help because we're going to be the last things to go, like or the last being to get support from ourselves.
Right. Which ideally isn't the case, but is the case a lot of the time,
So,
right? And just being able to prioritize to make it easy to take care of yourself, to make it easy to prioritize yourself, and to make it easy for your physical body to be cared for. What about like little mental moments of space? I know you have this long history. Talked to Sarah Ezrin on this podcast too about yoga and parenting. And it's like you have this long history of like 2-hour yoga practices and weekends where you're just in the studio the whole time and then you go outside and do yoga on a mountain at the end. Like, weeks at a time where you're just breaking down trikonasana and all this stuff. So that's all in there. And then you're in this space where that's not what's happening right now.
yeah.
And so how did maybe the spiritual or mental impact of all of that show up in
Mm,
those, I'm going to say in those early days, but in those series of years where you're primarily caretaking?
mhm, mhm. Well, I found that I was able to do this at night before I fell asleep more than in the morning because, and maybe you've have this or have this, but I had it with all of my kids. I would be woken up by screaming
Mm, mhm,
on a nightly, daily, morning basis. So
mm,
my waking up part, which now I like I hold sacred when I open my eyes and I become conscious that I am alive and awake and here it's morning, that there was a series of kind of meditative breath work things that I do to kind of like get my radio station attuned, my brain. But in the early years of parenting, I really wasn't able to do the mornings. So hell with the mornings, it was the nighttime. So, okay, I've just settled you in. I would create so simple symmetry in my body.
mm.
So I'm laying in bed and then I would consciously align my body so it is as balanced as I could make it.
Yeah.
And then work, because I was crunching my jaw and lifting my shoulder and so see if I could soften it
Yeah.
and then balance my breath. So that became my nightly, nightly practice. And then from there, guiding my mind to appreciation, just like that kind of prayer form of just like, thank you, and go through,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then that lasted 3 minutes, and then I was asleep because I was just super exhausted.
Yeah.
Right. But I still build on that now. That's not really any different, but now it's both PM and AM.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And anywhere, we had this Thomas a train, right?
Yeah.
And all my kids pushed Thomas around this little part of the driveway. When we were pushing Thomas, I was doing squats.
Yeah.
I know that that's not, yoga is so much more than squats, but those squats were really helping me.
Yeah.
Right? Clear my head, strengthen my body, move all those things, energize me because I was so tired, right?
Yes.
So like Thomas, the train time is squats and lunges.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're just fitting it in whatever capacity, whether it's feeding your mind or your body or your energy, all of the above. It's like you're just taking those hours upon hours of Surya Namaskar A and Surya Namaskar B and going, okay, squats and lunges during Thomas the Train time. Okay, toothbrush, skin brush, massage in the kitchen drawer, like all these things that we could potentially in a retreat setting, especially like luxuriate on and have all this time for. But when it's not, everything else is gone and the whole focus is you on retreat. And when it's not even life where you're the primary person taking care of just yourself, it's like, okay, we've got to make this happen somewhere, right? To not lose touch with it. A lot of what I hear in that too, that I've talked to many yoga teachers about, is like the relationship to your practice and keeping that alive. So rather than being so rigid about it has to look this one way, life is going to change and seasons are going to change. So what's your relationship to it? How do you stay connected to it? And so that's what I hear you doing, is just staying connected to your practice, which is a form of self-care.
Yes. And utilizing whatever wonderful little micro moment there may be, utilizing that micro moment with intention.
Yes.
And with positive intention. And I was just listening to some sort of research basically on, that it's important to vent with your girlfriends, that it actually, that it actually is healing. And as all things can be taken out of alignment and too much, right? So to acknowledge, yes, my mind is going into a negative bent. I feel sorry for myself. I'm angry that this is going on. That, at least for me, that's a typical loop. Here I am again, right? And where I can then intentionally, whether you call it affirmation or mantra or seeing the positive, or being grateful, to mentally redirect my mind into an intentional positive mindset, while I'm doing the lunges. While I'm scraping my tongue, when I'm drinking my water. That's one that I have really, I'm good at being positive when I drink my water. And when I drink my water, I basically say thank you. And I see it move through my body. And that, so a moment of like, okay, I'm all right.
Refreshment.
Yes. Instead of gung, 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 where are we going next? Right. Which, that's regular life.
Yeah. And it's not just what you're doing, but your relationship to it and how you're doing it and the intention that you're bringing to it. There's so much power, you and I both know, in habits too, right? And so rather than setting up a big expectation, I'm going to spend 30 minutes gratitude journaling every night. It's like, I'm just going to fall asleep to thank you for, thank you for, thank you for. I'm going to drink my water. Oh, thank you for this hydration, which anyone with a human body, if you haven't had water for 10, 11 hours, right? You take that drink, you're going to feel that thank you really strong, right? So we can bring it into everyday hydration and these everyday practices that you share and you write about. You mentioned wanting to add or thinking that you could have added more to kitchen yoga. Is there anything that comes to mind now that you're like, oh, if I could write another edition, this is what I would focus on?
I would proofread it better. So we'll just start there and I'll just leave that because there's like one page where it's like the wrong description to, and I was like, oh,
You're like, come on, friend, somebody catch
oh
this.
well, yeah.
It's amazing how many editors things can go through though, and there can still be typos. I remember getting like emails of like, oh, I found this word backwards on page 67. And I was just like releasing it to the
Yeah,
universe
yeah,
because I'm
really.
like, I really did have like I read it 3 times and had an editor and oh well.
Yeah, oh well. Editor, copy editor, there was a lot of sweet, awesome people.
Yeah. And I know, and I remember like writing to my editor once, how do we miss this? She's like, we missed it. And I'm like, oh, well,
Yeah,
okay. Thanks.
yeah,
That's another lesson, isn't it?
yeah. So I think that, that would be the main, and maybe it's just not being as simple. And as I say that to you, Lisa, I think simple is potent,
It's the point.
right?
Yeah. It's the whole
Right.
point.
Simple
Yeah.
is the point.
Yeah.
And I think that's and that I think of that, and you just said something like, 30-minute of gratitude journaling, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes we put the bar so high,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
somehow we think it's only beneficial if it's complicated,
Yeah.
if it's in words that our brains like, or whatever, or
Yeah.
it has so much time to it. And I think that, at least for me, I'm realizing more and more that there is this like primal, simple part of me, and I don't need more sometimes than just thank you. I
Yeah.
don't even need to even attach anything to that. Just thank you.
Yeah.
Just simple, simple moments.
And I always think about yoga like this gentle approach that's really powerful. The image that I always connect it to is water on rock. And I have this memory being in Yosemite. Some people might have been there. There's Vernal Falls and then there's Nevada Falls. Have you ever been to that area?
Have not. Mhm.
So if you go to the top of Vernal Falls and then go back, there's a bridge before you get to Nevada Falls. And the water there, it's snow melt. And it's so powerful, especially certain times of year, it's just thundering through there, right? But it's water. It's malleable, it's soft. And then you see this smooth rock, like somebody's been polishing it for centuries, and that somebody is water. And so I think about that with mantras like thank you. When you have that every time you drink water, that's a lot of repetition over time and like arguably more powerful than 30 minutes of writing every night. That's just like now I'm doing my journal because it's so integrated into your life and so repetitive. So you could be traveling and at a restaurant or wherever and drinking water and having that stick with you.
Yeah.
So there's something really powerful about
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
smallness and the repetitive
Mhm.
way that it's integrated into you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I beautifully, beautifully put. Um, I think the organizational mind, the doubting mind makes it complicated. And that more witness space, observer space, that one that is not so gripping or worried, the less fearful mind, then it's like, huh, well, just be where I am. It's the now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
You've been teaching yoga how long now?
20, 20-ish, 20-ish years. And I've
Okay.
been teaching teachers, which is so wonderful. Been very fulfilling for 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's most alive in your teaching of teachers these days?
Hmm. What's most alive? That's such a wonderful question. Even bad yoga is good yoga.
Yeah.
Meaning,
Right?
meaning like, start where you are, use what you have. You have the intention to help others, help yourself, and help others at the same time. That's a beautiful intention. We can all have little markers, like, raised with certain, even in yoga, there's elitism, about
Yeah.
understanding functional anatomy, and this is all that, right? My
Yeah.
lineage,
Right.
all of it. Wonderful. Yes. Yes. And get out there. The
Yeah.
world needs you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that I've become, in some ways, I'm a little more, not strict, but a little more like, hey, ahimsa, let's not hurt anybody. And like, I'm serious. No,
Yeah.
stop that. And on the other hand, I'm kind of like, like, as long as you're not hurting anybody, just
Anything goes.
and yeah, spread the love.
Yeah.
Let people breathe.
That's such a yoga evolution too. I mean, I think about we've shared, very similar yoga worlds for a long period of time. I feel like you get really steeped in certain cultures. Like yoga works so powerful, I think, influence on both of us, and both of us teaching there and teaching teacher trainings and working together on teacher
Yeah.
trainings. And that's how we met. I was assisting the one that you and Nikki taught. So I feel like we can get really steeped in that culture. And there's this culture of excellence and dedication and depth and science and digging into the philosophy that I love. Like I drink it like a fresh glass of water. Right? I'm like, bring it. I remember someone telling me somewhere in there of they went to India and they went to this yoga practice space, and it wasn't one of the main lineages that we were studying. And they were like, wow, their form was just all over the place, like hips out here and knees over there. And I was just like screaming the whole time. She's like, but they were so kind and
Yeah.
so happy. And so I figured it must be working. It must be working for them. Like they're sticking out their hip in triangle pose and their knees not over their ankle in warrior two, but they're peaceful. And so, I feel like it's such an evolution to just come back to the basics, and we come back to the philosophical basics in yoga of
What is yoga?
ahimsa. It's
Yeah.
practicing non-harming towards self and others. And it's so funny, Alex and I use this. It's almost like becomes a little sword. We're like ahimsa, ahimsa to each other whenever one person's getting too feisty. Hey, ahimsa. Like, no, I want to be grumpy.
Right. Yeah.
But I think coming back to ahimsa and coming back to like, it's all good, it's all yoga. I mean, even pain science supports like, if we get too rigid in, oh, if your knee goes this far, it's bad for you, then it's actually, we become afraid, and we can even sort of create a situation where we're doing something that feels harmful instead of helpful. So there's just this breathing room in what you describe of coming back to the foundations of yoga and coming back to something that also feels really inclusive, like just wherever you are. Like it doesn't have to, it's never about it looking pretty, even though it can really seem like it is.
For sure. For sure. And this aspect of, what are we leaving behind?
Yeah.
I think about that on a regular, to my family's frustration. They're like, why are you always thinking about like going? And it's like,
Yeah.
well, because I think about leaving my body and going every day. And that helps me to be more present here.
Yeah.
So I think about that, like what are we leaving behind? And intentionality,
Mhm.
and that, being aligned in our heart and soul, with our body, with our actions, with our words. That's really what's going to matter at the end of the day. So, how are we doing that? And whether you're doing that with asana and you're in it, it looks like yoga or whatever, however you're doing that, that's your yoga. Like ideally, it's being done awake, right? How much can we help ourselves awaken? And there are those moments, in there where it's like ahimsa, or fierce kindness.
Yes.
Fierce kindness is still a part of my world, but fierce kindness, when I was the book Fierce Kindness, the thought of like turning fear to love, and it's a hard thing. It's like you redirect yourself, right? But my family used to always be like, "You're not being furious kindness," and I'd be like, "I am indeed being furious kind."
Furious
And then
kindness. I love that.
yeah, our families are wonderful, but they remind us how human we are.
Oh, yeah, which is great. And it's lovely to be human and laugh and just, be imperfect while remembering that this is something that's important to us, and while being reminded in those moments where we're, maybe getting a little out of line or in going in the direction that might feel harmful to someone, like, okay, this is actually important to me. Yeah. I mean, it does make us laugh when we go, ahimsa. We're like, oh, yes.
Like, yeah.
Fine. Ahimsa, fine.
I'm gonna take a break right now. I'm gonna take a break and come back when I'm a little nicer.
Yeah. Can you talk about fierce kindness and what that means to you now?
Mhm. I always see a mama cat moving a baby cat by the
Mm,
back of the neck.
by the back of the neck.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Stop it. This way. You're going the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And
Really picking them up and moving them.
yes, and I feel like the hardest person for me to redirect is myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I can see it all for everybody else.
Right. Yeah. It's very clear.
It's much harder,
Yeah.
right? So I feel like that fierce kindness is everything that we're talking about, and I love the idea of the water on the rock and that consistency. And I also see it like it's a little more like,
Yeah.
gonna take a little bit of shakti, a little energy, a little awareness. It has some oomph to it, some
Yeah.
fire to it, and so whatever direction that you're stuck in that fear channel, in that channel of doubt, of clinging, of all the aspects of what's making you suffer, right? Can you use whatever tool, whatever works, and get yourself into that channel of harmony, of appreciation, of love
Yeah.
for yourself? So it has always kind of meant that to me, and it still is, and it still continues to be my greatest challenge. It's redirecting myself. And I think if it's changed, I think it has gotten a little gentler.
Yeah. Yeah. A little more loving pick up and drop off
Yes, instead of
instead
the
of just
tiger
claws.
mom. Yeah, I'm not as much as the tiger mom with myself. I'm a little, yeah. The
A
gray hairs
loving,
are coming, like they're here and here, and the gray hairs are coming. And so, like, I feel that kind of that older wisdom woman.
the loving tiger mom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So fierce kindness is in large part acknowledging where we're in fear, making an intentional pickup and drop down shift into love, appreciation, gratitude, connection, those things. Do you also think about it because you started mentioning them in English in terms of like the kleshas, the aversions, the things that make us suffer? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and identifying, and again, I think of like, and whatever works. That
Yes.
rings to me, like, and whatever works. That aspect of like how to redirect yourself. And I think of then the science of like how to regulate your nervous system. Like this is all, kind
Yeah.
of all a part of that, which comes back to the micro habits.
Yeah.
So if, you haven't brushed your teeth, and that could be one of those moments that, when you do it with intentionality and you love yourself and you take care of yourself, it's like you can use it as that kind of moment to shift yourself from fear to love, from that programmed habitual.
Yeah.
But who can
Yeah.
blame us, Lisa? I mean, I love
Oh, we've
the
got
world,
brains. We're humans.
yeah,
Spiral doom is
and
right
there's so much
there.
coming at us.
Yeah,
There's
there's so
so
much
much.
coming at us.
Yeah, I
It's hard
mean,
to filter. Our brains are constantly doing it. But what I love about these practices is that they bring us together in a way where we go, how do we feel better? What works?
yeah,
And not that we're trying to change, we're also just trying to become aware, like what is actually happening? How do I feel? And where do I have choice? Where
yes,
does that choice lead to me banging my head against a wall? And where does that choice lead to connection or progress or growth? And growth isn't always easy or pretty, but there's a sense of maybe fulfillment or satisfaction or expansion in that we can appreciate. And so that's really what I hear in that is, supporting people through just the realities of being human, having a nervous system that's focused on
yeah,
problems, that can internalize or externalize, unkind feelings or harmful thoughts or even behaviors, and managing that, like finding tools to work with so that ideally it's a better experience for us and for the people that we love
for
or the
sure.
people we don't love.
Yeah, it's that ripple effect. How do we be a positive change in the world? How do we show up in that way that makes a difference? And it starts with everything you just said, and it starts with our own kind of micro life. Um, what it keeps coming to me too, Lisa, is stacking.
Yeah.
Stacking onto whatever already works. What's working for you now? And sometimes we're like, very little.
Yeah.
There's
Very
very little
little.
working for me. But to start with whatever's working, whether that is like, yeah, I walk into the kitchen every day and I make my child food. So if that's working, then that's where you're going to stack on those self-care habits,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. How do you feel like yoga has impacted your relationships?
exponentially, like
Yeah.
just, in every way. Um, I won't even say this in like, I think I'm better. I'm definitely better.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and I really try to apply compassion
Yeah.
to the older version of Mel, because we're on so many point O's at this point,
Yeah.
right? And I know there's going to be more point O's that we'll look back to now and be like, oh, ay, 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 ay. So I believe that I'm a better friend.
Yeah.
I'm a better friend because I'm a better friend to myself, and I'm more intentional, and I'm more honest within my own being on what I need and want.
Yes.
I feel kinder and like I'm a better friend, whether it's a romantic friend or a motherly friend, like everybody's a friend. I'm a
Yeah.
better
More
friend
compassion. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm curious if you could magically download a yoga skill into every person on the earth who wants it. Anyone who's like, yeah, sign me up. What skill would you share?
Mm, mm, mm. Pausing.
Yeah.
Mhm. The power of pausing, stopping,
Mm-hmm.
and inquiring from the kindest, most expansive part of yourself. You know, beyond personality known as Mel, if I can pause and stop and take a look and go, okay, is this in the big picture of life and the evolution of life and spirit? Is this important?
Yeah. Well, you've mentioned incorporating awareness of death. And in yoga, we practice Shavasana, which is corpse pose, which in ways, depending on how teachers teach it, but in intention, it's meant to be a micro experience of death, of letting go, of letting all that experience just integrate and not doing anymore, and even letting go of, influencing our breath, letting go of our physical body. So there's something about that, just being aware that this is impermanent and coming back to the power that you do have in this moment to make choices, right? Like that, there's the pausing, there's the stopping, but what you're describing is more even spiritual than that, right? You're talking about coming from a deep place within yourself. It's not just the personality, that the lovely personality that is Mel, right? The funny and charming and wonderful personality, but something that feels like it has even more depth. Can you talk about how, and this might not have words, but how Shavasana or yoga or even your relationship with death, like keeping it in your awareness, does that connect you more to a deeper part of yourself, or what does connect you to that deeper part beyond personality?
Yes, that's my big resounding yes.
Yeah.
And uh, I and again to my family's not their frustration, I think about death or leaving my body a lot
Yeah.
daily, and I celebrate it. Like I find it a fascination. I'm very curious about how that will go, and in my mind and in my body I rehearse it. um, like I have desires about this, Lisa. I want to leave peacefully and with awareness, and I want to remember it all. And I ask all my people around me, hey, if you leave your body first, what signs you're going to give me, because I
Yes.
really want you to communicate, let me know. So there's that little kid part of me too that's like really interested. And I would say that for me, that is the greatest thing that keeps me like, okay, I'm not promised dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Time is limited. Now,
Yeah.
not in a panic way, but like, okay, so are you going to put your attention on that one email that irritated you that really does not matter in
Yeah.
the scheme of things? Or are you going to redirect your attention to what is you believe in this imperfect moment, is your soul's purpose? And that may be really enjoying the memory game. My 11-year-old, we play memory, they're a little, it's a Spider-Man game. And it's like to give that 100%, be completely present, smell him, squeeze him, right? That's my purpose in this moment, because I may not get it again.
Yeah. And
So
I mean, he's not going to be 11 forever. It's not going to be today forever. So even if it's bringing in the awareness of death to appreciate the transitory moment, to appreciate the impermanence of it all and be with it while it is for that fraction of a second, not permanent, but happening,
yes,
alive,
yes.
it's real.
And appreciate, and it comes back to that, like, thank you for this moment.
Yes, I
Thank you
so
for
relate
seeing
to
the
this.
sparkle.
Yeah.
Thank you for,
Yeah.
as I look at you, to see
Yeah.
the glow in you, and right, like whichever moment is
Yeah.
just like, so it is my regular daily practice.
I so relate to this, especially in parenting, especially when you're tired, especially when you go to your phone to look up the dosage of Tylenol and get distracted by something else, right? Like coming back to like my child is never going to be this day, this age ever again. And there is some element for me, I think I don't want to look back and have missed it, right? Like I don't want to be so pulled out. Of course, self-compassion, I'm gonna get pulled out. Like I'm gonna go to look something up on my phone or respond to a call or a text message and and wonder how did I end up on Instagram? Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And there are things I can do to put into place to prioritize my time and energy and the compassion and the return. Like that pause and that choice are so powerful. And I know it's so much easier said than done. And it almost becomes like, oh, yeah, duh, pause, take a breath, come back, be present, like all these things. But there's something really real and powerful about experiencing that. Like when it happens, we know and we can be with the people we love. We can be with ourselves. We can connect with life. And I think when we do that, a lot of other stuff naturally falls away. Like when we really like sometimes like the cat picking up the kitten with their teeth, like we kind of yank ourselves up and over and go, no, I don't want my attention to go there. Like this is my energy and attention and life force. And I really want to place it on my 1 year old stacking blocks right now. Like I really want to savor this. And maybe I can't even like feel like I'm savoring it enough, but I'm at least trying and I'm here and I'm looking at her and I'm breathing with her and I'm responding to her and you know, not from a place of perfection, but from a place of connection and enjoyment and intention. I just hear so much of that in what you're describing.
I love that. Yeah, I love the way you're sharing it. It makes me think of celebration. Makes
Yeah.
me think of BJ Fogg and his habit work. If you haven't read Tiny Habits, I'm sure you
Oh,
have.
yes.
Or
Yeah.
like amazing, right? Any of our friends, highly recommend it. That this aspect of when we celebrate, right? So when you do direct your attention on the light coming through the window, my goodness, right? When you do and you celebrate, whether you call it celebrate or appreciation, it does affirm the habit and make it easier to do. That was part of the science habit. So that celebration, I think is, I just want to pause,
Yes.
right? So keep celebrating,
Yes.
you know, not beating yourself up, but celebrate when you're like, oh yeah, oh, the air today. Oh, it's wonderful. Like so simple, right? So you're alive and you're present. And I would also say give yourself little reminders, the little bands. You know, when I look at my band that ties my hair on my wrist, it to me, it's I've infused it with it reminds me to like pause.
Mm,
Maybe you put a post-it, maybe you're a post-it note friend and you put like pause or appreciate or whatever. But
mm.
like it's okay and try to make it easy for yourself to come back and remember.
Yeah. One of my favorite Mel isms is, oh, well.
Oh my gosh, I live by it.
Oh, well, and whatever works. So it's like you
Yeah.
live in my head in that way. So know that anytime if we are no longer connected in body on this planet, anytime I hear someone say, oh, well, I will think of you.
Yeah, it's
And anytime I hear someone say whatever works, those are two things I've heard you say so many times, and I love it. But there's also that moment of transition where rather than getting caught up in any kind of drama around what I should be doing or what I wanted to be doing, or this isn't, it's like you can come into that celebration and we can also bring a sense of like, even if we were, you know, scrolling on our phone for 45 minutes, well, that's over. I've tried to do that with my daughter too, because there's moments where she's upset about something, and I'm never someone to like sweep things under the rug. I want her to feel her feelings, but I let her know it's done. That thing is over now. You know,
yeah,
it's not happening anymore. Oh, well,
yeah,
moving on.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
we can have our feelings about it after, but just so you know, it's that's not going to happen anymore. Like, I'm not going to wipe your face again. It's done.
yeah. Oh, and I love that. And I just want to say, like, uh, ancestral healing,
Yes.
evolution of human consciousness.
Yes.
Coming back to like, I'm celebrating you. I'm celebrating that beautiful moment of parenting, right? And we all like my parents. They did a lovely job. They did the best they could, and we keep learning. Ideally, we are on the shoulders of what came before,
Yeah.
in whatever way we can be. and that's to be celebrated,
Yeah.
and she will go on, and our kids will go on to ideally be more aware and
Yeah. They're picking up on stuff that I wasn't aware of. I'm still not aware of. She's going to pick up on things and, you know, live her life. And I mean, when you know better, do better type of thing, right? Again, without expectation or pressure, but I feel like that's kind of the natural order of what you're describing, right? As we go, oh, I didn't like that, so I'm not going to do that.
yeah, yeah, that's no longer helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it
It's
was
no
helpful
longer
then.
helpful.
Yeah,
Let
it
it
served its
fall.
purpose, but not here and now in this new time.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah.
Speaking of evolution, the yoga world has changed so much in the many years that you and I have both been in it. And especially, I think, since 2020 and the impact of the pandemic. And I love that you're in your studio as we're recording. You have a physical space. I have been there. It is close enough for me to drive there. I love it. Physical yoga spaces, I feel like, are so powerful. And also, even like the structure of yoga schools and training and practice, it's really changed. So I'm wondering what your hope, your vision for the future of yoga is in the next 20 years. What would you like to see?
What a wonderful question. Um,
I really want to know, right? Because we're in this kind of weird space, I feel like.
mhm, mhm. I first in a way I go blank.
Yeah, like
And
what?
yeah, and I think in the most simplest form, more of the same. And what I mean by that is when we are online with each other, we realize how connected we are, right? And so there is something so very precious and beautiful, right? The class I just got to teach, I feel it's an honor to teach. I just got to teach it. I'm so lucky. And there were multiple students who were on like complete, it's 11 a.m. here. It was 8 p.m. at, across the pond, right?
Yeah, so much for a different kind of AM PM yoga.
Yeah, yeah, and just what an honor, because I know I would not be connecting with those sweet souls. So I said more of the same, more of that, us making the world smaller, and continue to also grow our communities, because it is super important to feel that you have a community and not feel isolated, and that happens in person
Yeah.
as well, not only
Yeah.
but as well. And I think maybe a little hope that we continue to evolve from the physical practice. If we are physically in pain and sick, right? We don't have enough muscle on the body, all these things. Our brain deteriorates. If our brain deteriorates, like our quality of life here comes to zero, right?
Mhm.
So it's very important. All the physical stuff, super important. And yes, and so to continue to grow the aspect of the daily intentional living and creating that peace, right, that the world really needs.
Yeah. Ahimsa.
Mm.
Were you in improv? Because you were in theater. You did a lot of improv, huh? I would
Totally.
love to do improv with you. That would be so fun.
A lot of yes and
A
improv.
lot of yes ands.
It, did you know that I used to perform weekly at the Comedy Store on Friday
No, stop it.
to do with a
Can I
sketch?
go back in time and watch? Can I buy a ticket,
Oh my
please?
goodness.
Is it
Yeah.
recorded anywhere?
Yeah, I have like, comedy reels, but I
We're
haven't
coming
seen them
over. I'll
in
bring
years.
popcorn.
Yeah, I'm gonna find them. Rafael has them somewhere. But
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's where I learned. I was like, this world, I know I'm trying to like I'm trying to plant seeds.
Yeah.
But I was like, this world's too harsh for my very tender heart. But I did learn to plant seeds and to like enjoy the process. People throw things at me. I'm on stage or yell at me.
Yeah.
Just fine. You're going to cry in yoga class. Fine. Come on. Let me hug you. It's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever works. Let's get going. So,
Serious about we're having popcorn. It can be expeller press coconut oil, Himalayan salt popcorn, but like in this studio, projecting on the wall,
oh, good.
Bell's Comedy Days. I mean, it could be a fundraiser. I just have all kinds of
Yeah.
ideas for you.
You have to
All
be
your students will sign up.
yeah. That's why I stopped. I was like, I really do want to have kids. Like
Yeah.
that was the realization. And
Yeah.
I was like, and I really don't want them to identify that with me. And that's why I stopped.
Wow.
Yeah, my
I don't
heart's
want them to see
beating
this.
for this, and I was like, oh, and I don't want that to be
Yeah.
who they know.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But they do know her. I
Yeah.
mean, let's get clear. My kids know exactly what's going on here.
Yeah. Of course they do.
Yeah, yeah.
So somebody might be listening who's not a yoga practitioner. I was just talking to a client the other day who loves yoga and is like, why is it so hard for me to start? Like, why is it so hard for me to just, I know getting on the mat when I'm anxious helps. And why is it so hard to make that transition? So what might you say to someone who's in that struggle, whether it's to try yoga or to start something that feels helpful, or to just transition from an anxiety-ridden moment to plank pose?
Mhm.
What would you say to someone who's in that in between?
Well, and it's going to feel totally full circle. But wherever you are all the time, whether it's office yoga or, but like nix the mat,
Yeah.
nix the outfit, you don't need any of that.
Yeah.
Literally, it's time to get into your body. Just push against your desk, bend your knees and stretch your spine
Yeah.
and yawn and then reach your arms up. So if it's that simple, you just need to shift the mindset by shifting your body,
Yeah.
right? Something as very simple as that.
Yeah.
Put your arms up in the sky and breathe and look up. That's all you need.
So good. Doing it
Right?
right now. So good.
You're doing it right now. And then that might be like, oh, well, that felt kind of good. I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
And then
Or
you
I
might feel,
automatically started stretching my hands behind my
yeah.
desk next.
And you put your arms back and, oh yeah, like it does not have to be like official.
Yeah.
And then suddenly 1 minute turns into 3 minutes and then you feel totally better and then go from there. Then be
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe now I'll roll out my mat. Fine. Also, ask for help. There is a wheel that is turning. Whatever wheel that is turning, you get on it too and you'll turn around, right? I love that kind of image. So it's
Yes.
like whether they're talking to you and they go, oh, what are you doing, Lisa? Okay, I'm going to come to your class or whatever. The lowest lying hanging fruit. They're already doing it. It's easy to get to.
Yeah. Get
Do
on
it.
the wheel. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love that. It takes the burden of momentum off of the individual more. It's just like tune into a group and lean into the structure and just you can, assess a play. So this looks good and then follow along, right? And just
Yeah.
get
Especially
carried
when
by
it's
it.
easy.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like it's down the street. It's on my computer. I talk to my whoever all the time. Easy.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't mean just the right style. It doesn't. None of that matters. Just start something.
I also feel like there's something about meeting yourself where you are that also sometimes we feel like the goal is to change versus the goal is to connect. Like if the goal is to connect in the moment, like, oh, I'm feeling really anxious. Okay, well, maybe like your hands are moving fast. Well, what if you move them faster? And what if you shake them over your head? What if you shake them to the side? And what if you shake them to the back? And then what if you stretch or whatever? Like, but rather than like the goal being to change, the goal being to feel and to connect and to, yeah, probably move some energy, but let that happen in an organic way. I think a lot of questions I get about yoga and trauma feel like they come from that place of like, how do I change my nervous system? I'm like, well, you do change it, but you change it by tapping into it and listening to it and honoring it and having this relationship with it of like, it's heavy for a reason. Do you need sleep? Are you sad? Does it take a lot of energy to process something that's traumatic? Yes. Like
Yeah.
honoring that and knowing that, and then just working with it, right? Rather than against it. So that's what I hear you describing too. It's like working with yourself. You're at your desk. And if you think, well, I should be getting on my yoga mat and it's over there, it's like that can really be a big ask, right? Even though it seems simple and our minds go, yeah, I can do that. There's moments that all of us can agree, well, we didn't do it.
Yeah.
So what can you do right now? Can you press your hands into your desk? Can you stretch out? Can you shake a little? Can you
Yeah.
work with what's happening in a gentle way and then see where it goes? Because like you said, it starts to carry this new momentum, right? And so we're on a journey and we're connected rather than disconnected and in a tug of war.
Yeah.
I love you.
Good stuff. You're smart. I love you too. You're smarty.
What's next for you? Are you teaching teacher trainings? I know you're ongoing teaching
Oh,
teacher trainings.
yeah.
So what's coming up?
I am teaching teacher trainings. In fact, I have the honor. I kind of like pinch me, Lisa. This is my life, right? I have the studio here. I'm just feel very blessed. I'm very lucky. So I'm teaching a 300-hour program for like the advanced training. I get to teach for the wonderful Chopra people, Deepak Chopra. I'm his lead trainer. How lucky am I? It's such a joy. That's an online training, a 200 hour. I hang out with them. I have my own, right? Which has, they're all similar quality. They all cross pollinate, right? You can't say like, oh, this is so different and that's so different, but it's all like, okay. And that's hybrid. So I teach people here, and then online. So I have those all layered, and that's my main part of my life. And I'm doing spirit theater.
Oh, tell me about spirit theater.
I feel like it's, anyone who has been in class are like, yeah, you've always been kind of like chanting and doing things to move energy and, all the different things. So the two most healing modalities that have affected me so deeply is one is yoga, the energetics, the movement, the pranayama, the mantra, all of it, right? And the other is the theater of using mask,
Mm.
specifically neutral mask, which is that you have nothing, the mask is just like almost like a faceless person.
Wow.
Um, and learning to neutralize, and become aware of like programmed choices, behaviors, right? In the theater, that neutral mask was really healing for me, where I started to be like, well, I could let go. I don't have to try so hard. I can allow myself to be where I am, right? So I'm bringing those modalities together, call it yoga mask, spirit theater. And in fact, just, coming up, I have times to do it. So I'm bringing that where we move, we clear, and then we set mantra, and we add the mask, and then connect to each other and ourselves in kind of like a ritualized way.
Mm.
And to see where it's like, okay, this is who I'm becoming, and what do I need to let go?
Yeah.
Right? What extra effort, thoughts, doubts, all these things to step in. And it's like, to me, it's quantum entanglement, because if you can experience the feeling with the mask right there, the freedom in the body, the joy, whatever it is, as we explore and play in this theatrical way, in a way, then when you take the mask off, it's still there. And you're still entangled with who you want to become and the feeling of who you want to become.
Yeah.
So that's, that the crazy professor,
I
mad
love it.
scientist, that's where I am right now. And so
Here
that's where
for
my
it.
energy is going. Yeah. Doing it in New York at Ishta Yoga in
Nice.
October, doing it in Italy, in
Love it.
Naples, at a couple studios there. So that's my main focus right now.
Love it. What brings you hope these days?
You,
Oh, stop it. Keep going.
sunshine.
What brings you joy?
Well, you right now.
Yeah.
Well, totally.
Same, same.
Um, sunshine, nature,
Yeah.
a moment where I see the people that I love, and all the different people that I love, my family, the students, friends, see
Mhm.
their eyes sparkle when I can see the consciousness behind their eyes. I
Yeah.
just like, it affirms to me like
It's gold.
humans are good.
Yeah. And even just somebody passed by on the street. I met someone in the coffee shop the other day and I was like, you got it right there. We're
Yeah,
friends.
yeah. We're safe. We're friends.
Mm.
Humans inherently are beautiful and kind beings. So no matter what the advertisement says, humans are good.
How can good humans connect with you?
The easiest way is myname.com, MelanieSalvatoreAugust.com. There's a way to email me right there. There's a way to see classes and come on. I teach many times a week, live streams. You can just pop on, get on a Zoom,
Yeah.
we can say hi to each other. So there's many ways, and that's the easiest way.
Is it really not Salvatore?
Well, you know
Please
what?
read your name in Italian.
Before I put the August on, well, no, honestly, my parents said Salvatore.
They
My
did.
parents were really trying to,
They were like, stop
not
it.
be Italian.
Yeah.
They stopped speaking Italian in the house.
Yeah.
Bless them. I get it.
Yeah.
And then after I added Salvatore,
Salvatore. I mean, that's how I see it.
And then I added on the August, the evolutions, and then I left Salvatore because it was becoming too much.
It's a lot of syllables.
Yeah.
Salvatore August. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with Salvatore if you're okay with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Va bene.
Va bene. Va bene. Such a pleasure to have you here. I love just having the opportunity to have a conversation with you and connect with you and to share this with folks. So thank you for coming on the show and for being your wonderful, bright, beautiful self in the world.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for doing all that you do in the world. You are such a bright light. May you have all the blessings around you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Now, I'd really love to hear from you. What resonated with you in this episode? And what's on your mind and in your heart as we bring this conversation to a close? Email me at info@howwecanheal.com or share your answers and what's been healing for you in the comments on Instagram, where you'll find me at howwecanheal. Don't forget to go to howwecanheal.com to sign up for email updates as well. You'll also find additional trainings, tons of free resources, and the full transcript of each and every show. If you love the show, please leave us a review on Apple, Spotify, Audible, or wherever you're listening to this podcast right now. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe and keep sharing the shows you love the most with all your friends. Visit howwecanheal.com/podcast to share your thoughts and ideas for the show. I always love hearing from you. Before we wrap up for today, I want to be super clear that this podcast isn't offering prescriptions. It's not advice, nor is it any kind of mental health treatment or diagnosis. Your decisions are in your hands, and I encourage you to consult with any healthcare professionals you may need to support you through your unique path of healing. In addition, everyone's opinion here is their own, and opinions can change. Guests share their thoughts, not that of the host or sponsors. I'd like to thank our guest today and everyone who helps support this podcast directly and indirectly. Alex, thanks for taking care of the babe and taking the fur babies out while I record. Last and never least, I'd like to give a special shout out to my big brother Matt, who passed away in 2002. He wrote this music, and it makes my heart so very happy to share it with you here.